One, ladies and gentlemen, I am Darth Man, the cameraman, and I am here with Austin ARV2 Max Games. We are running down a deck profile of his Harpies for the January 2015 ban list. Austin, take it away.
Thanks, Darth. Alrighty, I'm going to start off with 3 Harpie Dancers. Now, Harpie Dancer, what she does when she's on the field, I get to return one monster from my side of the field to my hand, and normal summon another one monster. Now this effect goes great if you have the Harpie's Hunting Ground field spell card, because every time when a Harpie card is special summon or normal summon, you get to destroy one spell or trap card on the field, on your opponent's field or on your side of the field. So I carry 3. Most people do 2. I do 3.
Now, 3. Is that once per turn during either player's turn, or just whenever you want? When
it's your turn.
All right.
And you can only use the effect of one Chandler once per turn.
Gotcha.
So be very aware of that.
All right.
Next, I run 3 Harpie Queen. She is the 1900 beater of the deck. Okay. And when she's in your hand, you get to ditch her to the graveyard to secure your field spell card, Harpie's Hunting Ground, which is a key aspect in any Harpie deck. I run her at 3, keep her at 3, not 2/3. Next I run 3 Harpie Lady 1s, okay? I run 3 Harpie Lady 1s because she in herself can boost every single one monster on my side of the field by 300 attack points. What you could do 2 Lady 1s or one Cyber Harpie. But I'm sticking with the 3 combination right now just to see how it goes, and it's been going terrific as of late. So next off, I use 3 Chandlers. Chandler is the main Harpie card that allows you to go into your rank 7 plays in this deck. What her effect does, you get to discard 1 Harpie Lady card from your hand to the graveyard to special summon 1 Harpie card from your deck onto the field, and then her level will become the same level as that Harpie card that you summoned. So you want to use her to get your pet dragon out on the field. She'll become a level 7. You go into your rank 7 play, you get your Draco Sack or your Master of Blades or your Big Eye.
Now, for that effect, do you have to target a Harpie Lady, or does
Harpie
it have
card?
Oh, anything with Harpie in the name.
Anything that says Harpie in its name.
All right, so now we're talking.
All right, I run the 1 pet dragon. You never want to draw a pet dragon ever in this deck. You always want your pet dragon in the deck. So I only run 1 Harpie's pet dragon.
Would you advise Foolish Burial that pet dragon or no?
I would, but I don't want to draw in a Foolish Burial when I can have drawn, a Pot of Duality or something. It can become a dead draw. I mean, what you could do 2 pet dragons and 1 Foolish Burial. But I just feel like I could substitute that card with different cards in this deck to make the deck flow better.
All right.
Next, I run 1 Thunder King Ryu for special summoning. Slow my opponent down, especially if they're using Shaddolls or Burning Abyss or Mermail.
1 stun gun's always very important.
Yeah, I just 1 run.
Also, it has the effect that your opponent or no one can draw except on their draw phase. So especially against Shaddolls and Burning Abyss, when their monsters hit and chain off the grave, and then most of them do give draw power. It looks like 1 stun gun would be helpful. Now, is it detrimental to you if you open with this, or if you top deck it?
If I draw this on my first go and I'm going first, I would immediately play him.
Okay.
All right. Then if I have my Hunting Ground, I would save that. And end with 2 back row face down. Just intimidate my opponent. All right. Next up, I run 1 Zephyros.
Now, why 1 Blackwing in a pure Harpie deck?
Because of Zephyros' ability. It's very helpful in a Harpie Lady deck. I only 1 run. You don't want to run more than 1. I mean, some people do it, but 1 for the consistency is better for this deck. And this will round up the. This will
round up the monster lineup.
Yep. Next up, 3 Hunting Ground. Again, like I said before, this is the key engine in the deck. It pops back row. Then I run 3 Hysteric Sign. Now, what this card does, it's a continuous spell card, and you play it, and you get to immediately add 1 Elegant Egotist from your graveyard or your deck to your hand. And then, if this card is destroyed, during the end of your turn, you get to add 3 Harpie Lady cards from your deck to your hand. So this can give you an insane monster lineup in your hand. So I run it at 3. And you can easily recycle your Elegant Egotist with these 3 cards itself.
Alright, so it looks like it's looking mighty consistent at this point.
Yeah. And just for more consistency, because I'm very afraid of back row, I run 3 MST.
Alright, staple in every deck.
Yeah. And then I run 2 potted dualities.
Why not 3 pots?
Because with pot...
What do you got against pot?
I don't have anything against pot. I only have one bad side effect for pot. You cannot special summon the turn when you activate that card. And what if I have a Chandler in my hand and I want to make a rank 7 play? Or I want to overlay for 4? I can't do that because I just activated a potted duality. So I will substitute. I use 2 potted dualities instead of 3. And I will substitute the 3rd pot with 1 day of peace.
Okay. Now, 1 day of peace. 1 day of peace. See, I'm botching the video. It can either be really dicey, given that your opponent can still run over your monsters. They can still punch through them, but you won't take any damage. Do you feel that's a downside to the deck? Given that the monsters, the base attack is anywhere between 1400 to 1900 attack, and then even if you have, let's say, Hunting Ground on the field, boosting it with an extra 3, so your lowest monster is going from 4, 5, 6, 1700. 1 day of peace, they can still get through to you, at least to set up for an incoming attack next turn.
Yeah, they could, but what if I get a bad hand, or what if I couldn't have pulled off my play, and now I'm wide open for an attack?
Now, are we talking first turn?
Either first turn, or when you end, or if your opponent just played, a devastating effect, or they brought out their boss, and they destroyed your Harpie card, and you took the damage, and now you're trying to recover from that play, and you draw this card. You activate that, it'll save you for next turn, and you draw a card, but the downside is that your opponent can also draw a card. So, it's a risky card, but at least I can special summon if I needed to, if I draw into it.
Alright.
Alright, in the future, if I find something that I like that can substitute it, I will, but for right now, I'm going to run that. I run the last spell cards. Elegant Egotist. I only use 1 in the deck because of Hysteric Sign. Because it recycled itself, so you can activate it. You can special summon a Harpie Lady from your deck to your hand as long as you have a face-up Harpie Lady card in the field. It goes to the graveyard. Then you can activate Hysteric Sign, bring it right back, activate it again. So therefore, you just special summon twice in 1 turn.
There you go.
Alrighty. The Single Regeki and the Single Book of Moon. These are 2 self-explanatory cards right here. And for the OTK trap card, you're going to run 3 Hysteric Party. What this card does, you can go into insane synchro plays. Excuse me, I don't use synchros. Exceed plays. Or you can just overrun your opponent's field with this card. You get to special summon as many Harpie Lady monsters from your graveyard as possible. So, if your opponent's going for an attack and you need backup or defense, you can just activate this and special summon 5 Harpie Ladies from your graveyard in defense mode. Or if you want to just OTK your opponent, activate that, bring all your Harpies out, go for your rank 4 plays, or just go for the attack.
Now, given that you have 1 Thunder King and 1 Blackwing, do you feel that cutting it to 2 would be more consistent, or is 3 still just as strong?
I'd use 3, because even with the Thunder King Ryu and the Blackwing, I'm going to be drawing more Harpie Lady cards because of how the pairing I've done with them. I have 3 sets each, except for the Harpie's Pet Dragon. So I'm going to be drawing into more Harpie Lady cards than I will be doing Thunder King or Blackwing.
Alright.
So this is going to make up for all that. Next I run 2 Mirror Force. Destroys all face-up attack position monsters that my opponent controls as soon as they make their attack.
Okay, so let's say you've got 2 Mirror Forces. Do you think siding out for 2 Dimensional Prison would be stronger, given that when, let's say, most decks, and I'll use Shaddoll and Burning Abyss as an example, maybe even Lightsworns, that when their cards are destroyed by card effect and hits the grave, it chains off even farther. Now, given that Deep Prison is almost essentially a monster board wipe, Dimensional Prison, it doesn't destroy, but it simply removes it from play. Do you feel that Deep Prison would be stronger over Mirror Force?
Deep Prison is a good card, but in my opinion, if my opponent's swarming the board and I need to get rid of those monsters quick, only Dimensional Prison can only get rid of 1 monster. This can get rid of all monsters.
Alright.
So that's why I keep it at 2.
So, alright. So essentially still very strong.
That's it's a staple trap card. I mean, if you can get rid of 1 monster removed from play and stop its effect, or you can get rid of all their monsters, but their effects will kick off the board. But you will never know what you're going against until you go against it with the first round.
Well, that's what we have siding for.
Exactly. Next, I run 2 Icarus attacks. I'm not going to run 3. I'm going to see how 2 does in this deck. Because then What if my opponent attacks my monster? I know my Harpie lady is going to get destroyed, but what if I contribute her to sack 2 cards on their side of the field? I would do that. But I'm only running 2. I'm running 2 Icarus attacks and the 2 Mirror Forces.
Do you think 3 might clog, given that you do still have... Well, the Blackwing does count as a Winged Beast, but the Thunder King, do you think you'll hit a wall if you run 3?
Not necessarily. I mean, if I summon that Thunder King is going to be public enemy number 1 for my opponent, because decks nowadays, they rely on special summoning. So as soon as I hit that Thunder King on the field, they're gonna focus all their attention on that Thunder King so they can special summon. So that's why I'm gonna run 2 Icarus attacks, because this deck, except for 1 card, is all Winged Beast monsters.
Alright.
It doesn't have to be Wind attribute, it just has to be a Winged Beast. So therefore I contribute Zephyros in itself.
Alright, cool. Sounds good then.
And then the last 3 staples, you have your Compulse, you have your Torrential, and you have your Bottomless Trap Hole.
Why not Warning?
Warning. Number 1, if I put Warning in this deck, it'll be a 41 card deck.
Okay.
Alright, and I haven't as of yet needed Warning.
Now, I don't mean to cut you off, but I know that Solemn Warning, to activate it, will negate a summon, period, but you do take 2,000 life points for that. Do you think that's probably a lot more hurtful, and just say, well, to hell with that, I'll just do Bottomless Compulsive Torrential instead?
Yeah, exactly. I can. There's so many different things you can pop your opponent with. I mean, you have the 2 Icarus attacks, you have the turret, you have your Bottomless, you have your Compulse, you have your 2 Mirror Forces. This then itself should be enough, but if need be, I could use a Solemn Warning.
Okay.
Okay? But this is what I use right now, and I haven't had the need as of yet to get a Solemn Warning. I've been just fine using this.
Okay, so does that round off the entire deck, the main deck right now?
This is the main deck of exactly 40 cards.
Alright, let's jump to the Exceed and see what you got.
Alrighty. Toss this to the side. I have the number 103. Now, 103, I believe her effect. Let's get this right. During either player's turn, I can attach 1 XYZ material from this card, target 1 face-up attack position monster your opponent controls, whose current attack is different from its original attack, and destroy it, and I can draw a card.
There you go.
Knowing cards nowadays, there's going to be some kind of boost in any deck that'll boost up the attack of their monsters. Okay? So when you bring this out on the field, say if they have a monster and there's some field spell card like Mountain that'll increase its attack, then you bring this guy out. Their monster's gone, and you get to draw a card.
Alright, sounds good then.
And you can still go for an attack. That's a Red Eyes 2400 attack. Okay?
Alright. Knowing that we're about to come up on 15 minutes, scroll through the rest of the XYZs.
Alrighty, we're going to go with Diamond Dire Wolf.
Alright.
Number 82.
Yep.
Stealth Worm Roach. Harpie's Pet Phantasmal Dragon. You have your Sympathy Diligent. I believe that's how you pronounce it. And you have your number 42 Galaxy.
Alright, why Galaxy?
He's just a substitute for a level 7 right now because I don't have the big eye.
Alright.
So I'm just using him as a substitute for now. You have your Master of Blades, which is one of your 2 current level 7s that you want to get on the field. But if you have to go for a rank play 7, you want to bring out Dracosac, definitely.
Now, is Dracosac going to be the main target?
Yes, he's the main boss in this deck as in Exceed play. He's the main guy, and I can just detach 1 material, get 2 tokens, and as long as I can keep those 2 tokens alive, he cannot be destroyed, or he cannot be targeted by spell, traps, monster effects, or be destroyed by battle. So he is the ultimate boss in this deck until I get that big eye XYZ monster.
Alright, so given that rounds off the XYZs, what do you currently have for sideboard?
For side. Alright, I have Soul Drain.
Obviously for the Shadal, Light Sworn, Burning Abyss, everything in the game matchup.
Tell me about it. I have the Gozen match.
Alright. Good for Madolches, absolutely.
And because of the new ban list, the January 2015, you can now have Snatch Steal.
Very good.
You have Summoner Muck.
How many do you run?
2.
Why 2?
For special summoning. If I wanted to special summon even more in this deck, but that's to say who I'm facing. If I'm gonna face Shadal player, I will side for 2 Summoner Monk.
Now, what would you side out for those 2 Summoner Monk? Would you target Thunder King and the Blackwing?
I would target the Blackwing and 1 Harpie Lady 3. 1 Harpie Lady 1.
Okay.
And then to round it up, we have 2 wiretaps.
Wiretaps.
All right. Because I usually like using Dark Bribe, because it negates the activation of a spell or trap, but you're giving your opponent the draw power to draw 1 card.
Well, yeah, it does tend to recycle, giving them the effect to a chance that they could use it again on you. But I would say that it would be just like 1 in a million chance that they end up drawing that same trap card that they did activate against you.
Exactly.
All right. So, is that it?
This will round up the deck, you guys.
All right.
You guys, you can like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think about the deck. What would you guys edit? What would you guys take out, substitute, anything like that? All right. This is ARV Games signing out.
And
Peace, you guys.
This is the DARTH MAN, the cameraman. All right. Later.